You're listening to the Cryptid Crew Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Childers. Before we get started, if you've had an encounter or an experience or just something unexplained, click on the link tree in the description and share your encounter. Thank you for listening to the Cryptid Crew Podcast.
The scream went for 3-4 seconds, and I know that when you're out in the woods, if you encounter a predator or anything, the last thing that you want to do is run.
You knew you weren't alone. Something was there, and I can't explain that.
I've never in my life heard anything like what I heard that night.
On this episode of the Cryptid Crew Podcast, I have the privilege of introducing writer, 3D animator, creator. He has worked on projects such as Lego Dreams, Sonic Prime, and Disney Firebuds. He is currently the creator of the film Lunatic Fringe. Logan Webb. Logan, thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I have checked out some of your work recently, and it's absolutely amazing. Very talented.
Well, I appreciate that.
Let's tell the listeners, if you don't mind, just a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, so I'm from Virginia originally, is where I grew up, and I went to college in Florida at a art school called Ringling College of Art and Design, and that's where I got my degree in animation. From there, I graduated in 2020. So right when the pandemic started, graduated college and got my first job out in Vancouver, Canada. And so I moved out to Vancouver and started working on Disney's Firebuds. It's like a Disney Junior kind of a show. And then I stayed up there for a few years working on different shows. So like I got to work on Sonic, Lego Dreams, some Strawberry Shortcake specials. And then work kind of got a little bit slow with the writer strikes and, there's, tariffs and talk of tariffs and all these kinds of things. And so I moved back to Virginia, which is where I'm at now, and I'm trying to work on my own stuff. So I wrote this, movie script called Lunatic Fringe, and, now I'm working on creating a kind of a proof of concept, trailer on Kickstarter. To try to kind of bring it to life and show people what it is I'm trying to do and hopefully get that off the ground.
Right. I noticed the film has Bigfoot, Chupacabra, Jersey Devil, and I believe Mothman as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, so those are kind of the main characters in the script, along with a human cryptozoologist. And yeah, it's about, the premise of the story is that an alien escapes from Area 51 and the government, kind of rounds up Bigfoot and these other creatures and kind of sends them out after it to try to get it back. So that's the basic premise of this story. But yeah, I wanted to come up with something where I could take these, kind of local legends and cryptid creatures and, bring them all together, give them a full personality, not just kind of a shadow in the woods somewhere you don't really know what it is. These are fully fledged characters, and I just thought there was a lot of potential there with these stories and this folklore to create a really rich and interesting story that is a little bit different from a lot of the stuff you see in animation these days.
Right. Let me ask you this. How long have you been interested in Bigfoot or cryptids, and what got you interested in it?
I've been interested in cryptids, especially Bigfoot, I would say, since I was a kid. I would watch all kinds of, documentaries like on the History Channel and things after school about, There's a lot about Bigfoot. There is some other things, like Mothman, the Jersey Devil, and some of the lesser known, or at least certainly then, was much less known, creatures. And so I always, had an interest in those kind of things since I was a kid. But I think what got me started, on this particular idea was, when I went to Canada, I didn't know anybody. It was during COVID, and I just had to quarantine in my studio apartment, on the other side of the country. And so I had a lot of time on my hands. I was very much alone, and so I decided I was going to write this story to kind of keep myself occupied and, see if I could write a feature-length script. And that there was something about just that time with everybody, being alone and being kind of isolated from everybody else. There was something about that and the idea of Bigfoot and how, isolated this character, this creature must be based on just the fact that nobody can find him, and he obviously doesn't want to be found, and all these kind of things. And so there's something about that just resonated with me at the time, and I just kind of took it and ran with it.
Right. Did you choose the cryptids based off of your favorite cryptid?
When I first came up with the idea, before I even started writing it, I was trying to come up with who was going to be my main cast of characters. And I had different combinations of, what this group would look like. And part of it was I wanted to have creatures from kind of different parts of the country. So they would be varied in, where they're from, what the folklore was, and also, who the characters would appeal to. Somebody from where I'm from might, be really interested in Mothman, but they might be less interested in the Jersey Devil, but somebody from up north might be more interested in the Jersey Devil. And so, that was part of it. Another part of it, was, which I can't get into too much, but part of, what the characters were going to do in the script, and the, the locations they're going to go, and those kind of things kind of help dictate, okay, which cryptid would be the most interesting in this place, or, would it not make sense, in some way? So it's not entirely just based on my favorite, cryptids. Although I do like all the ones I chose, because you got to like what you're doing, or else you're not going to want to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me ask you this. You'd mentioned Area 51. So part of the story, I noticed an alien escapes from Area 51. What is your personal opinion, or have you ever dove into that particular subject?
Well, I certainly haven't done the kind of deep dives that I know people that really research it have done. I don't know, if they really have aliens there, or, or just somewhere. I know Area 51 is kind of the one everybody kind of assumes is where the aliens are, if they're there. I don't know if we have aliens or not. I mean, I feel like if, someone had aliens, I don't know if I believe they would actually tell the rest of the world that they had them. So I don't know. I know Bill Clinton supposedly asked when he was elected president if there were aliens, and he claims they said no, which I don't know if that means anything, but
right.
I don't know. I don't know what to think. I mean, I haven't seen an alien or a UFO personally, but I'm interested in, I like the idea that these things might exist, at least in theory, if they're not, trying to take over the planet or something.
Yeah, for sure. That's, well, that whole area has its own enigma, I guess you could say. It's just, it's been rumored for so long that of course, it's well guarded, it has, and in the middle of nowhere. So
yeah, I've driven around kind of the outskirts of Area 51. I mean, obviously you can't go to it, but I've been out there, and yeah, it's a weird place. I mean, there's nothing much there, and there's mountains kind of at least partially surrounding where the base is, and it's, it is weird. I mean, if you're not from a desert like place like that, like if, I'm from Virginia, so I'm not used to it being like just totally barren, nothing there, and so it's definitely got kind of a weird vibe out in that part of the world.
Yeah, I can imagine. I've seen it. I've seen some things on some documentaries and read a little bit about it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's strange for sure, no doubt about that. And the possibility of something happening or them or the government, recovering possible wreckage or what have you. It's always interesting to entertain that, I guess, the mystery of it itself.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and there, you can go down a rabbit hole real quick when you start looking into that stuff. But yeah, there is something about it that really captures people's imagination.
Yes, yeah. Let me ask you this. I know you have not said you have not seen any strange lights or anything like that. Have you had any other kind of encounter or experiences, hiking or in the woods or paranormal or just in general?
No, the only thing that I have experienced that was really weird to me was hearing, I don't know if you've heard of like the sky trumpets, those kind of, I guess, I don't know what it is. It just sounds like trumpets from the sky. And I did hear those really clearly one morning, and I'm from a religious upbringing, so I'm like standing there like, okay, is this the end of this?
Right. Yeah.
Not to the point that it was really strange. And I remember I was in high school. I guess I was a senior in high school because I drove myself to school. And actually, I walked outside to get in my car to go to school. I heard this noise. I look up, kind of waiting to see what that is, what's happening. Nothing happened. And I just got in my car and drove to school. But it was really early in the morning, and I'm from a small town. It's like there was nobody really out doing anything. So that was kind of creepy. But I got to school, and everybody showed up. And I had a teacher, an art teacher actually, who was a mentor of mine and still a good friend, a religious person. And I asked him if he heard this noise, and he said he didn't hear anything. And my parents said they didn't hear anything. And so I don't know. It was really weird.
Right.
I heard it clear as day, whatever it was.
Right.
That's the only thing.
Was it, you said it sounded like trumpets?
Yeah.
Or ropes or...
Yes, horn. And I mean, it sounded like, it wasn't like a, beautiful, like music kind of a noise, but, just like a trumpet or horn, like something just blasting this horn sound. I don't know, it's really vague. I'm not a music guy. How to describe it.
I'm not either. I guess, I probably would have thought of it as, angels playing trumpets or something, by what you're describing. I don't know, but
yeah, I mean, they're I don't know what the like technical term for this is. I know there's videos online, which, I mean, I don't know if they're real or not, but there's videos of people recording these sort of inexplicable horn sounds from the sky. So if anybody out there is interested, you could look that up and kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about, because it seems similar to what I heard. And I think there's like some kind of weather phenomenon that explains what that is or something, or tries to. So I have no idea, but I remember that being a really weird thing.
Let's go back to the film Lunatic Fringe. If you can, what you can elaborate on, can you do that for the listeners and tell them just a little bit about the storyline?
Gosh, let's see. I can try. I'm trying really hard not to spoil anything. It's, gosh, where to start? I would say it's kind of a family-friendly movie. Not for super young kids. There are some aspects of it that's a little scary. Because there are cryptids, there are other cryptids that have not been revealed yet. Some things are scarier than other things. But yeah, it's about, Bigfoot is the main character. His name is Red. He's kind of the leader of this group, even though he doesn't want to be. And so it really is about, his journey, from being totally, isolated, avoiding everybody and everything, and he has his reasons for that the film explains. But taking a character like that and taking him out of where he's comfortable and thrusting him in this adventure with these other characters, whose personalities are wildly different than his, and just kind of seeing how he handles that situation, how he grows as a character. Man, this is really hard to describe without it's hard to describe being so vague. But yeah, really, I don't know. It's a movie about friendship, about family, making the right decisions, about finding redemption when you haven't always made the right decisions. And yeah, it's it's kind of a sci-fi adventure movie. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of heart, I think, too. Hopefully there's some moments that kind of pull at your heartstrings a little bit. But yeah, I don't know, hopefully it resonates with people. I think it's a little bit more like the kind of movie you might have seen in like the 90s, early 2000s in terms of an animated movie. So I think that the tone is a little bit different. A little bit more mature, but not so much that it's like an adult-only thing.
Right. You'll have it sounds like a fairly broad audience for that.
I hope so, yeah. There's so many people that don't really know that much about cryptids. Some people don't even know the word cryptid. If you talk about it, some people don't even know. They might know Bigfoot, because everybody knows Bigfoot. But some people don't know about how many cryptids are out there, how many legends and sightings of all these different things. So hopefully I can appeal to the people that, like, the hardcore base of people that know every creature and every story and everything, but also open it up to people who maybe don't know those things, but create a story that captures their attention anyways, and maybe introduces them into some of these stories and things that they might not otherwise know about.
Sure. Can we expect a trailer for the movie anytime thing, or is there a date for that?
So there's no date right now. So what we're doing is we have a Kickstarter that we're going to launch. It's not live right now. So right now it's in like the pre-launch stage. So people can go onto Kickstarter's website and they can follow along with the project page, which is for the trailer. So we're trying to, me and a couple people that I've hired to help me out are trying to get the funding to make a trailer. So it'll be like a fully rendered, movie quality trailer, so we can see the characters, fully realized, moving, talking, lighting effects, all that kind of stuff. And hopefully that will generate enough appeal and interest that we could maybe secure funding for the full film. Because it is 3D, it's very expensive. Even short amounts of animation is very expensive. And so the trailer release would depend on how quickly we got funded, and when we got funded. And yeah, but hopefully that will take off pretty soon. We had some issues with Kickstarter. We had a date, and then we had some issues. We had to work some stuff out with Kickstarter. Now we got to pick a new date when we're going to launch. So we haven't picked that yet, because the day we were going to use passed. So now it's like kind of in this, state. We have to pick a new day when we'll actually accept contributions. But we're trying to do that to get the trailer started. And for anybody who doesn't know too about Kickstarter, it's all or nothing funding. So, like if there's a project you like this one, and you contribute, $20, you're not actually charged for that unless the project, gets fully funded. So if you donate $20, you don't get charged until we reach our goal, and then everybody gets charged at once. So if we don't meet our goal, then you don't have to worry about losing your money, in the process. And we're going to have lots of rewards too. So, like digital and physical rewards. So like posters, t-shirts, 3D prints of, characters, all kinds of different stuff like that. In exchange for your contribution. So it's not going to be like a strict donation. Yeah. So it's going to be, there'll be different levels, but it is like, there'll be set amounts. So if you, and they're like different tiers. So, there'll be like 10 tiers, and the first tier gets you these rewards, and the next tier up gets you all of those plus a couple more things. And so it adds on, that way. But it'll be all the way from like, $1 to $10,000 is like the most you could donate. Which would be crazy if you're out there and you want to give, that much money. That would be wonderful. But yeah, even, just $1, people can donate, and, it makes a big difference. No amount's too small. So yeah, we hope people will be interested and, kind of help us get there, because we are confident in the idea. It's just a matter of getting it in front of enough people to kind of get the momentum going is kind of the initial hurdle we're kind of get over right now.
Right. Yeah. Everybody loves t-shirts and, posters and that kind of thing. So that, it's an awesome thing, I believe, what you're doing, but for a small filmmaker or someone trying to pursue something that they have a passion for, it's pretty awesome to see. And once you get the Kickstarter, of course, we'll stay in touch, and it gets going. I'll try to get you back on as well, and you can tell everybody what's going on and what are the updates and so forth.
Well, I would appreciate it. And, yeah, hopefully people can check out the Kickstarter. We're already, we started working on it. Like I've designed, all the main characters. There's still other characters that I'm working on, but, we've got a couple 3D models made, and you can see that like on the Kickstarter and on my website. Like we have the Bigfoot model built. We're working on his texture and like doing all his fur and everything, which is like this really complicated job in and of itself. But, people can hopefully, with some of the models we have, the level of quality, even though it's a really early stage, just a really professional level of quality that we're shooting for. And hopefully people can see that in the artwork and the progress we make. And we're updating it too, as we go. So, if people want to follow along, they'll see the progress we make with the characters and the development of everything. And, hopefully that'll be good, and everybody will be excited as we get closer to our goal.
Oh yeah, that'll be definitely exciting to see your work. And for people that have not, can you tell them where to go to check out some of your stuff?
Yeah, so on Kickstarter.com you can go to, and if you just search Lunatic Fringe, it should pop right up. And you can also go to my website, which is LoganWebbAnimation.com, and I have a page with all the artwork and information there. I've got a newsletter you can sign up for if you want to receive updates about what we're doing. And I'll usually send those out. I'm only sent out a few so far, but I try to send those out a little bit ahead of time so people that signed up can see, before we show the rest of the world kind of what we're doing. And it's just an easy way to keep up with what we're doing. And I won't spam you with emails constantly. It's once a week at the most. And also all my social media and stuff's on my website too. So you can just click the links and see all the stuff we got going on there.
But I'll put it down in the description so that way they can keep up with what's going on. And I signed up for the newsletter myself just the other day, so I'm excited to see what's going on, and I'm going to be a fan myself, I know. Logan, let me ask you this. Is there someone that you admire, their work?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, there's all kinds of people. Oh, gosh, who to say? Actually, you know what I will say? This has nothing to do with film, but I'll give him a shout out just because I think he's great. I met a guy. I went to the West Virginia Bigfoot festivals in June, so just a few weeks ago. I met a guy named David, who, and I'm sure people, especially cryptid people, have seen his work. He does a Cryptid Empire, which he's got all kinds of like crazy cryptid t-shirts, and we were actually set up in the same place, in the same building, and hadn't met him before. I'd seen his work before, but he came over and introduced himself, and he was just so kind. I mean, he gave me like a free copy of his book, autographed. He like told me all kinds of stuff about these festivals, how that, kind of how to do it the right way and all this, because I have no idea, about all these kinds of things. But he was just really nice, and we stayed in touch. He continues to be, just really nice, really helpful, and yeah, I don't know. It was really nice to have him. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. He's really talented. He's got a book out too with all his cryptid artwork, or at least a lot of it. But yeah, he invited me to come, to some festivals and things with him, potentially depending on what's going on with our schedules. But just a really nice guy, and he's very successful with what he's doing, and there's no reason for him to be so nice to me, but he was anyway. And so I really appreciated that. So yeah, I guess he'll be my answer.
Let me ask you this, Logan. Do you have a favorite cryptid? Is it Bigfoot, Mothman? I know you're close to Point Pleasant area, right?
Kind of close. I mean, I'm probably 4.5 hours away, maybe from Point Pleasant. I think my favorite, it's probably a toss-up between Bigfoot and Mothman. I kind of go back and forth between those two. Yeah, I don't know. It is hard to pick. And I mean, especially in my story too, they both have, I think, some really good moments and parts that I like. They're very different characters, in my story. Which is fun, but probably a toss up between those two. If I had to, maybe that's a non-answer because it's two, but
right. No, that's a good answer.
So it's hard to pick.
I get it. Yeah, they're both. That's probably my two as well. Bigfoot. It's for quite some time since I was young, and then Mothman. Such a neat story, or interesting story of the things that have gone on in that area, and even in I just talked about it recently around the Great Lakes area. Chicago. There's been sightings all over Prairie area as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Mothman is a really interesting story. I don't know, there's something, it's kind of like with Bigfoot, there's something about Mothman that just captures people's imagination for whatever reason. I think maybe more so than some of the other cryptids out there. Cause he kind of, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah, maybe, I don't know if it's because he flies, it's just so mysterious.
Yeah, I think it's the mystery. He's got sort of a Batman-esque kind of in the shadows, dark creature, but, and a lot of, and even in my version, he kind of walks that line between creepy and cute, so he kind of can go both kind of both directions. And so, yeah, something about that people just like. I also really like aliens, sort of classic, gray aliens or little green men kind of a thing, which I guess is kind of a different category than cryptid, but they kind of get lumped in with, aliens get lumped in with cryptids most of the time.
Right.
But yeah, when I was young, I definitely went through a phase where I was really interested in aliens and sci-fi and all those alien movies and all that stuff. So I like aliens too a lot, actually.
Yeah, you can, like you said earlier, you can definitely dive in a rabbit hole on any of these topics.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
No doubt about it. Well, Logan, at the end of each episode, I do a rapid fire Q&A where I will give you 3 questions, and it's the first thing that just comes to your mind.
Okay.
You just let me know. Are you ready?
I think so. We'll see.
All right. Nothing too serious, by the way. Favorite Bigfoot or paranormal TV show, past or present?
Gosh, can I say X-Files?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a classic. Yes, X-Files. Yeah, no doubt. That's one that one won't go away.
Yeah.
Your favorite project you have worked on, minus Lunatic Fringe?
I'd probably have to say Sonic Prime. That was a lot of fun. Those are really fun characters to animate. I mean, they're really iconic characters, so that was cool too, to get on that kind of a project. But that was the second job I had. And the first one was like the, Disney Junior show. So it was like a sing-along show for really young kids. And this was like a little bit older kids, more action, more fighting and that kind of stuff. So that was really cool to be a part of.
Gotcha. Third question, final one. Favorite hobby outside of doing your animation?
Gosh, probably weightlifting.
Okay.
Like to lift the weights.
Just, it's good to get up and move around and exercise. I enjoy a little bit of exercise myself. So yeah, weightlifting, good choice.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I spend so much time, at a computer animating, and then, you try to watch movies and TV and keep up with what's going on and see the stuff I missed when I was too young and all this stuff. So a lot of time in front of a screen. So yeah, anything I can do to get up and move around is definitely a good thing.
Well, Logan, I have truly enjoyed this, having you on the show, and I appreciate you taking your time out to come on and tell us about Lunatic Fringe and what you got going on with it.
Well, it's no problem. I appreciate you having me on, and it's always a pleasure to meet new people and help spread the word and hopefully find, like-minded people is always fun to do. So I really appreciate it. And, hopefully we should be having some test renders done pretty soon of Bigfoot with textured fur, so like hundreds of thousands of individual hairs and everything on him. And so that's hopefully coming soon, so people can maybe look out for that, because we're working on it, and hopefully we'll get it figured out pretty soon. But it's quite an undertaking, but it should be really cool when it's done.
Good deal. For the listeners, if you've had an encounter, an experience, or just something unexplainable, please shoot us an email with your contact information at the Cryptid Crew Podcast at gmail.com. Like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel out. Thank you for listening, and God bless.